welcome. Very, very glad to be able to be with you guys again tonight. I say this every time. I'm super excited to be able to sit down with today's conversation with these fellas. We got two of them. There's two of them. And we're going to have a cool conversation just about what we usually do, music and such. But of course, one of my favorite things to do with you guys is for you to be able to actually ask questions on the fly. So I'll be looking forward to those questions. Don't let me down on that. Also, with every episode, we are unofficially sponsored by another drink. Today, it is by Waterloo Sparkling Water. You see that right there. Waterloo. And this is spiced apple. This is my first time trying this one. We're going to try it and see if we can get a real response off of it. Let's see. There's that sound. Just love it. Here we go. That's very good. My goodness. That's very good. I'm actually surprised by that. So I will finish that before we're done with the conversation. But before we get going, before I actually introduce these guys, of course I'll play the intro, but I want to give you all a chance to kind of jump on in here. We'll have a cool conversation here, and of course we gotta reach out to our faithful question asker, Angele. I don't know if that's the right way to say that, but it sounded kind of cool. But we're gonna have Angela jump in here because she just asked these awesome questions. All right, so here we go. It's about to happen. All right, we're gonna run that intro, and then we got some cool stuff happening. We got actually a cool new section of the podcast today, as well as we're gonna be playing a video that these two guys were a part of. And here we go. So let's roll that intro. All right. Okay, so if you like music, I believe you'll like this. Today is sponsored by We Are Live. Come on. Change. Come on. Welcome to Story and Notes. Guys, let me make sure I mute that so it don't sound weird. But super excited to introduce these guys. They're two brothers, and the weird thing is that I met these guys very long ago. They are both adults now, which is weird. One of them is actually married, which is weird as well. Because when I had first met them, I think he said he was 10 years old, which is just I'm getting old. Oh man. And then but these guys have been involved in music forever, and I can't wait for you guys to be able to hear some of their story. This is the Mills. Should I say the Mills or
You can
Mills?
say whatever.
Okay.
Whichever you
This
want,
is
bro.
this is the Mills. They're brothers, and we're gonna get into that. Here we go. How's it going, guys?
We're doing
Hey,
good,
it's going
man.
Doing
good.
good?
Excited to be here.
Happy to
Yeah?
be here.
Okay.
Ready to hang out.
All right, cool. So let's go ahead and let's start with the older brother. If you don't mind, go ahead and kind of talk a little bit about giving your introduction, who you
Yeah.
are, and things of that nature.
Yeah, well, my name's Joel. Our band is called Mills. It's just the two of us. But, I mean, I guess my background is I've been doing music since I was a little kid. Our parents are super musical, so it's kind of a natural thing. I started piano when I was like 4.
Wow.
Started leading worship in church when we were both super young, probably like 12, 13.
Wow.
We had also a country band that we traveled around with, like kind of in
Wow.
high school, and so kind
Okay.
of been all over. And now we're ready to do our own thing. So yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. So what about you, Jordan?
Honestly, I mean, Joel kind of said everything there is to say, but yeah, my name's Jordan. I'm the younger brother. Um, man, our parents got us into music. I was 3, I think, when I started piano lessons. I
Wow.
think Joel was 2, probably
Three or four,
3 or
same
4.
thing.
My
Wow.
mom's a music teacher, and my dad has been a
Good.
record producer for 30 years or
So
so.
cool.
And he was a touring Christian artist in the 90s. So I mean, there was no escape for us. We were gonna do music one way or the other.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
So hold on. You said he is what?
So
In a
my dad, yeah,
yeah.
he toured in the '90s. He had a couple of like
He is
top
Wow.
on
20.
Spotify if you want to look
See,
him up. Just
Joseph
gonna say it.
Mills. It's the guy with the mullet.
It's
Okay.
actually
You can
great.
thank me later. It's good stuff, man. It's great.
That's cool,
Yeah.
man. Goodness.
So yeah,
Okay. So was it like hair rock? Like
not really.
no? Okay.
It was like your soft. It was more of soft
Okay.
rock.
It's got a
Yeah.
little bit of a late '80s vibe, I think.
It
Okay.
does. It's good. It's good stuff.
Okay.
It
All right.
sounds it
Grew up on
sounds
it.
like what it is.
Yeah, yeah. It
If you
sounds like
listen
what
to
it
it, you'll know what I
looks.
mean. But
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
great. Yeah,
That's
good
solid,
stuff.
dude. Okay, well, cool, man. So let's ask this question to Joe first.
Bring
Joe,
it.
what was your? I guess you said you started playing piano or learning how to play piano at 3 or 4. But what was your earliest childhood memory of music, as
Oh
far as
man.
like, um, I'd say more so to where you like, this is what I actually want to do.
Oh yeah,
You
that's
know
a
what I
good one.
mean? Like,
I
what
would
was that?
say, I mean, as a kid, like I did music because my mom like made me do piano lessons, but I didn't really get passionate about it until probably like middle school age. I
Hmm.
think one of the first things, it's kind of sounds kind of lame, but we went to a like a Beatles cover band in Branson,
Okay.
and like
Very
I
good.
had never really heard their music and just totally fell in love with it.
Yeah.
And so we kind of got super into their music and actually kind of had a little cover band. We played at like some coffee shops and stuff.
So you had never heard the Beatles prior to
I
this?
mean, I had heard it in
Okay, but
passing,
not
but like
really.
I hadn't, bought the songs on iTunes or whatever
Yeah.
it was then. So,
Okay. Wow. All right. What about you, Jordan?
Dude, it's honestly kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
But for me, I remember like, um, I when you're musical and you don't really know like where else you fit in school. Like you never want to like be the guy that shows up to class. And he's like, hey, like let me play a song for
Yeah.
everybody because nobody wants. If you ask that question, the answer is going to be no. I'm just like, I
Yeah.
want to hear you sing a song. But I was in like music class in like sixth grade. I was like 9 or 10, and um, someone mentioned that they had heard me play "Hey Jude," which is a Beatles song,
Oh
of
yeah,
course,
yeah.
on the piano. So I was like, well, yeah, I kind of know that song. And so the music teacher was just like, hey, come play it and sing it for the class, and I did.
Hmm.
And then people were like, this is great.
Mm.
I liked that. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, people liked that. Maybe I do want to do this. And it's such a funny thing because it was such like a small. I mean, it happened in front of like 20 people,
Yeah.
But it
it's a
was
big deal in sixth grade.
it
Yeah.
was, and
Yeah.
I was all nervous, and I played this Beatles song for my class, and I was like,
Wow.
you know what, I enjoyed this. I
Wow.
think I want to do this, and so
Yeah.
I picked up guitar like almost immediately after.
Yeah.
Didn't look back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you know, I guess, so I hear people say all the time, like people that grew up in musical houses, I hear them say all the time, like, hey, I thought everybody, like did music, made
Hmm.
music.
Mm-hmm.
Um, did y'all know that y'all house was different in that sense? Like, did,
Not
no?
really.
I don't think
At
I
least
did.
probably not until I got a little older.
Yeah,
Honestly, no, not at all.
for real?
It's just
Yeah,
what we did.
yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Well, the thing is too. I mean, my dad. I mentioned earlier he was a record producer, so he had a studio in the house. He still does have a studio in the
Yeah.
house, actually. And
Yeah.
when we were real little, it was directly underneath our bedroom. So there were times when like we
Yeah.
couldn't even go in our room because we're like, hey, like we've got live mics, like we can't be hearing you stomping around up there,
Yeah,
And so we were
man.
we were so just in it every
Yeah,
day,
yeah.
that, and we had like all of our friends, our family friends, were people coming over and recording. So we had no idea that it
Wow.
wasn't normal.
Yeah,
We were just like, oh yeah, everyone does music because everyone we know does music.
Didn't really think about it.
Yeah.
yeah. Dang, that's so cool. I'm
Yeah.
sitting here just geeking out because I was telling you guys before we went live. Um, I've always been involved in music, at least since about 9 years old, and I've always been sort of not necessarily like it's always been something that I've done. And so like when everybody is playing sports or whatever, everybody
Yeah.
else did, like all I, you know, cared to do was music.
Hmm.
And so like it's just cool to hear those stories now, and cuz I'm hoping that, and I don't know how, I ain't going to ask how old your dad is, but I'm wondering if he was my age when I met you guys. I'm 35 now. And so I'm almost wondering if,
Roughly.
yeah.
Probably.
And I just asked
Yeah.
that because so I had met you guys' dad. I don't know why I can't think of how I officially met him. Um, but I just thought, his space was the coolest space ever. I actually liked the downtown because he had two locations.
Mhm.
There was a downtown studio, and then there was the one in the basement. I loved the basement like
Yeah.
studio,
Oh, you
man.
love
Yeah.
it
Like
now.
I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ah.
it's nice.
That's so fun. Well, that's why we only do that anymore. It costs
Yeah.
so much to have the building, and we're just
Yeah.
like people just like coming to the house because it doesn't feel like you're paying for time. It
Yeah.
doesn't feel clinical. It just
Yeah.
feels like you're hanging out and you're making music with friends, and it's
Wow.
way more conducive to
Goodness.
creativity, I guess.
Mhm.
Okay.
So
So are y'all writing and recording all the time at this point, or how's
As
that
much as we
working?
can.
Yeah.
I mean, we're both in a stage of life where we have a lot going on, and
Mhm.
so I wouldn't say we do it as much as we would want to, but the goal is to eventually like just do that.
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah.
But we do it quite a bit for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I recently got married. We're not quite a year actually. We're a couple weeks away from being 1 year
Ah,
into
snap.
marriage, which is
Yeah.
dope. Which is
Yeah.
dope. But man, the amount of just like responsibilities and time commitments and things like that.
Yeah.
You know how it is. So it's
Yeah.
just, yeah, we're not doing it as much as we want to because we both have responsibilities. We got to pay bills, so we got
Yeah.
jobs and whatnot. But I mean, as much as we can, we're in the studio recording stuff and we're shooting each other ideas all the time. And
Damn.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. So let's. I didn't have this written down as a question, but I am wondering because I geek out, and I'm gonna try not to geek out too much, like I said. But like, how does that process work for y'all in y'all writing? Like, what's some of y'all? Now, obviously, it could be different, each time, but like, what are some of y'all go-to ways of that? And what I mean by that is whether that's through the voice memo on the phone,
Oh
or the notes on the phone, or like
Mhm.
which usually y'all not necessarily go to, but how often does it go to kind of this same these same
yeah.
things that happen for you?
Yeah, I think, I mean, I have a million voice memos, and so it always starts with that. Then normally, like, I'll flesh it out a little bit more and then send Jordan an idea, and vice versa. Sometimes we'll do the same thing.
Yeah.
So most songs, like, start with one of us writing a chorus or something, and then we'll get to a point where, like, okay, we have to do that song. And
Yeah.
so then we'll get together and I'll be on the piano, and he'll grab his guitar, and we'll hash it out, finish it up.
Okay.
Yeah, it's usually one of us has some sort of melodic idea or a catchy line or something like that, and we send it to the other person. And then we just kind of riff over things until we kind of find something that sticks.
Yeah.
And then when we actually get down to like recording stuff, a lot of the times Joel will kind of have like he'll kind of have the idea for like, hey, like this is kind of like honestly, he's like the guy starting the lyrics
Yeah.
for the
Okay.
most part lately. And then what
Yeah.
I do,
Yeah.
and I get
Yeah.
to work with my dad really closely on this, which is awesome. But
Yeah.
he and I really kind of sit down and arrange and produce things.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, so like Joel will come down and one take on the piano, unbelievable,
Yeah.
and then he'll sing. And then my dad and I we'll spend 3 hours comparing master bus compressors, like stuff that's super
Yeah.
boring to anyone that doesn't know.
I barely know what that means.
Yeah, he'll just go upstairs
Yeah.
at that point. And he's
That's
done.
so
But
cool,
we'll
man.
spend so much time doing all the geeky stuff, and it makes
Uh,
a difference, and we have
yeah.
a blast doing it. But
I'm sorry for getting weird, man.
no, it's good, man.
weird.
I'm serious, like the excitement of like to see how like y'all both have grown up in the same home around the same stuff, and then still like you find your thing within, you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
within this one home, like you still find the thing that you actually kind of go more towards, which I'm sure both of y'all can do the same stuff or some of the same things, but it's like there's those parts of music and the
Yeah.
creation of it or production of it that you just kind of seem to you know
Gravitate to
yeah,
different
you
sides
know
sometimes, yeah.
that's
Absolutely.
cool as heck, man. Wow. Okay, so we had she asked Angela, she's our question gal. She asked, I just have to say your skin is impeccable. What is your skin regimen?
Oh my
It's a
gosh.
great question.
Uh,
It's more of a Jordan question.
Jordan question. Okay, wash your face twice a day. Actually, so I used to wash my face twice a day,
Yeah.
and then I got like dry face, so now I
Oh,
just
no.
wash it like once a day.
Hmm.
I use the cheapest moisturizer possible, but I
Okay.
use like a scrub
Okay.
twice a week.
Okay.
Twice a week.
All
Don't go
right.
too crazy, or it'll make your face freak out.
Yeah. Does it matter
But
what day though? So like,
Tuesdays
do
and
you
Thursdays.
Tuesday and Thursdays?
Yeah.
See.
Wash your pillowcase.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right.
That's great.
Man.
What about you?
I don't think she was talking to me, but I wash my face in the mornings. That's about it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I need to
Okay.
take Jordan's advice, honestly.
You do.
That's hilarious, man. Oh shoot, Andrew said Meals on
My
Wheels.
dude,
What's up,
Andrew.
Andrew?
I love that dude.
Wow, that is funny.
He's on tour right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's on tour with Jordan St. Cyr, a Christian artist. I've been doing some fly dates with them,
Okay.
so Andrew and I have been able to work together pretty
Yeah,
closely in the
man.
last like month and a half. Doing
Okay.
a couple of fly dates. Yeah,
And you playing a guitar mainly?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I play. We both kind of do the same thing. You know,
Hmm.
we have other artists and whatnot that we'll travel with. So we do that a lot. Um, but I'm always pretty much always hired as guitar player.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you prefer guitar?
love it. It's the
Why-
only thing I wanna.
Why
wanna,
do
like,
you
play.
prefer guitar?
You know, that's a great question, and I don't really know why.
Yeah.
Because I've played piano longer than I played guitar.
Mm-hmm.
I think what really clicked was, I feel like, just about every guitar player ever is gonna say the same thing. But listening to like John Mayer and Stevie Ray,
Ah.
and some of the greats, you know, and then, we have some really great friends that are just brilliant guitar players that are on tour with huge artists and whatnot.
Wow.
They'd be over at the house, you know, they'd be recording something, and I just watched them play. And I just be, man, I gotta learn how to do that. 'Cause
Wow.
that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. You know, like these
Yeah.
guys are so cool, and I want to be
Huh.
like them.
Yeah.
And I always wanted lessons, but I got piano lessons. I never got
Yeah.
guitar lessons.
Yeah.
But I
Wow.
mentioned earlier picking up guitar in 6th grade, and that's what happened. I literally like had a chord chart and sat under a tree
Yeah.
and just sat there. I was like, I'm not leaving until I can play
That's
some chords. and
cool, man.
Yeah, I just loved it. I just fell in love with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what about you, Joe?
Yeah.
Like, what's your?
I feel like I have a similar experience with guitar, just less.
Okay.
And so like I love guitar. I actually started playing around the same time as Jordan.
Okay.
But I also love piano, and so
Yeah.
I tend to lean a little bit more towards the keys.
Okay.
And so, I mean, yeah, my story's not like as big and dramatic, but
You didn't go under a tree.
I think I probably was under that same tree. I just forgot about
Well,
it.
he actually
honestly.
had the guitar, and I stole it from him.
That's true. I was kinda
Oh.
mad.
And then I hid
got
under a
over it.
different tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But
That's
he's being
funny.
modest. This guy's a monster. On the
I do
keys.
play guitar, but
Yeah.
yeah, keys.
He
is
plays
definitely
he
my
plays
thing.
guitar better than I play piano.
Jordan's more of like the lead. He plays like the crazy solos. I do the support underneath.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's one way to think.
Do what
That's
I have
cool.
to.
So, all right. So this is a question I didn't have. Also, do you find that you, Jordan, do you find that you tend to start writing more first from guitar
Absolutely.
than keys? Yeah.
Yeah, he can write from both.
Yeah, it depends on the
Um,
day for me, honestly.
Does it? Yeah.
Mm.
Just depends on.
If I've been writing a lot on guitar, I'm probably more likely to go to piano because it just kind of I'll be more inspired.
Okay.
But if I've been writing a lot on piano, then vice versa.
Yeah. Do you ever find yourself, because at times, so like for me, I may, I may find like I may start it on keys or something or start it on guitar and completely get rid of like doing it on that instrument so that instrument
Definitely,
doesn't
yeah.
show up in the song at all.
Mhm.
It's like, all right, started on this. Do you ever find that happened for you as
Oh,
far as
yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
And I do a lot of songs on acoustic, and I don't
Yeah.
think we have any acoustic songs. So,
No.
So
why is
Yeah.
that?
I don't know.
You know,
Yeah.
it's an interesting question, and we have one song right now called "I Think I've Got a Problem," and if you
Okay.
listen really close, there's a bridge section, and you can hear an acoustic guitar. And I didn't even want there to be like the sound of the acoustic guitar. I just wanted the strumming because I
Yeah.
wanted it to be a shaker.
Ah,
You know, because it's a really great like timekeeper.
yeah, yeah,
But-
yeah.
I think you know it's kind of the style. You know, sometimes we're doing like big rock song, and we don't really want to bog it down with acoustic guitar because
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really think about
Yeah.
headbanging to acoustic guitar.
Yeah,
know,
now that
yeah.
makes sense. So like, I actually, it's funny y'all say that. So I'm more comfortable on acoustic than I am on electric.
Mhm.
And so like, usually if I do something with guitar, I actually prefer the sound of electric, just over acoustic. As
Mhm.
far as on the song, but
It also just
There-
takes time to set up too.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's true, man.
yeah, it's just easier to.
Just grab the acoustic and
Yeah.
get ready.
Oh man,
I'm
I
running
have
with it.
so much junk that I have to haul with me everywhere I go when I play electric.
Do you? All right. Well, I can't ask that. 'Cause I was about to get into asking a gear talk.
God,
I'm like,
I got
what's
a
your
lot.
what's your go-to
Jordan can talk
pedals?
Oh man, I've got a
Yeah.
spaceship.
Yeah.
I fly a
Do you?
spaceship, basically? Yeah.
Do you do it with every? You find that you use it with every?
I do.
Yeah.
Somehow I
Yeah.
find a way to make it necessary to bring as many things as
That's
possible
funny,
to every
man.
show.
So you
Yeah.
you're a guitarist, but travel like a drummer would.
Yeah. Usually the drummer has to wait for me to set up.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious, dude. That's funny. That's cool, man. Okay, so this is a question that I like asking people. What's a song that you wish, and I'll ask you first, Joe. What's a song that you wish you had been a part of? So it's basically
Like
like,
any song?
yeah, like a
Oh
song
man.
that's like one of your favorite songs. You like, man, I wish I was in the room.
Oh
I
my
wish I would have
goodness.
helped write. I wish I would have said the in this song, or I wish, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I would have laid
that could
down.
be like almost any song. I mean,
Yeah.
I think like as far as like huge songs,
Mm-hmm.
probably some classic Beatles song like "Hey Jude" or "Let It Be."
Ah.
I think one of my favorite songs lyrically, because I really like simple stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's a song called "Annabelle's Homework" by Alec Benjamin. Every
Okay.
time I listen to that song, I'm mad that I didn't write it. So,
Yeah. And what is it, Alec?
Alec Benjamin.
I don't think I've
Oh,
heard.
dude, he's awesome.
Okay.
Definitely
I'm at the
recommend.
share. So Alec, Alec
Yeah, yeah.
Benjamin. Okay. Well, check it. Is he current? Is
Yeah,
he
yeah.
out now?
No, I think he just dropped something like a couple
Dude.
months ago.
And what's the name of the song?
It's an older one. It's called Annabelle's Homework.
Okay. I'm gonna have to check
It's
that out. I
stupid
love the
smart.
title. Yeah.
Dang.
What about you?
For me, man, I mean, oh, that's tough. Slow dancing in a burning room, John Mayer.
Okay.
The guitar part, man. It's all. I'm a guitar player, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just you don't even need lyrics on that song. Just listen to
Wow.
what he's playing, and I can sing back to you every single line that he played in that song. It's
Yeah.
like he's singing. It's incredible. But like
Wow.
more recently, anything on the band Camino's new record,
Okay.
because sometimes a song will just tell you what it wants
Mm-hmm.
when you're writing it.
Yeah.
And I feel like every song on that record was like that because I can't imagine having done anything else on those records. They're so
Mhm.
obvious to me
Yeah.
that it almost makes me mad that I didn't come
Yeah.
up with them myself.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
I'm just like, of
Yeah.
course, duh. Why you wouldn't have done
Sounds
anything
so
else?
good,
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah,
course it does.
dude,
Yeah.
that's a good, that's a very good point. Like, there are times to where, I hear a song or I hear like a melody, and I'm like, why hasn't that existed
Mhm.
before?
Mhm.
I mean, it's even as simple as Seven Nation Army,
Mhm.
Oh,
by
yeah,
White
for
Stripes. It's
sure.
like, how is that not had been done,
Yeah.
a
How did
million
everyone not
times
know that
before
song
then?
already?
It's
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
goodness, that's one for me. I'm like, man, I wish I would have just, ah. Okay, so and I ask this question, and usually people like, no, I need more than that. What's your favorite? Like, if you had one artist,
Mhm.
just one artist, and I know that just
So
it's
hard.
like, no, I can't pick one. But your favorite artist, just period. Like, I have one, but just your favorite artist to where it's like you just find that you go to their music over and over. You keep going back, and it's just
Mhm.
like, man, this is still as good as it was, when I first heard it.
Yeah, I think I know mine, and I'm curious what yours is. Oh,
Uh-oh.
I probably know yours.
You probably
Okay.
do.
I think it's a hard question, but I would probably have to go Reliant K.
Okay.
I just kind of grew up on them, and
Mhm.
I feel like I go back at least once a year, and have done that every year since like 2009. So
I knew he was
they're
gonna say
probably
that.
my favorite.
You knew he was
I
gonna say
knew he
that.
was gonna say
Did
that.
you
Like,
really?
I
That's
love
cool.
pop stuff, but
Absolutely.
like he infuses piano into it, and
Yeah.
that's my main thing.
I could have
so
answered that for you.
It's just I love it.
Dang, that's what I should have done. Darn it! I done messed up, man. I should have. That's exactly
I
what
know
I should have
Jordan's,
done.
but I'll let him say it.
Well, what is
Okay.
it? What is mine?
He's gonna say John Mayer.
I'm gonna say John Mayer. Yeah.
Okay. So why?
Dude, it's the guitar playing. So he's the guy that made me go, I want to be a guitar player.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there are all these other people that I watched play that I was like, oh, I want to learn. But John Mayer was the guy that made me go, I love Stratocasters
Yeah.
because he plays a Stratocaster.
Yeah.
And I love guitar because everything he does, I just hear and I want to play it.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's, again, one of those things that just feels obvious. I'm like, well, of
It's
course I
cool.
need to play that lick.
Yeah.
It's like it already existed. He just discovered it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
It's so cool on me.
Okay. So this is the follow-up question, and we'll actually let me do this. So now that you said that, I'm gonna start with you, and I'm gonna actually have you say what you think his answer is gonna be on this next one.
Let's do it.
Okay. What is Joel's favorite album?
Favorite
And
Oh, yeah.
obviously, I'm saying like, man, there's just no skips. You
Okay.
get to he gets to this
I
album.
know exactly
Pretty
what
sure
it
I
is.
know.
We got to let this thing
So
play.
it could be a couple of things, but if I had to narrow it down, it would be a Reliant K album. It's Forget and Not Slow Down.
Oh, nailed it.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Forget and Not Slow Down.
Forget Not Slow Down.
Yeah.
Okay.
2009, I think is when that came
Yep.
out.
Yeah.
That was my birthday when I was 13.
Yeah. That's wild,
Coincided
man.
with Modern Warfare 2 coming out. It was a good year, man.
Yeah.
year, big
Yeah.
day.
That's cool.
Dude.
Okay, so what do you mean by that? You said it coincided with
Oh, I just mean like there's just so many memories.
okay,
with,
around
uh,
that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're in middle school, like
Yeah.
everything is a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every big release is the biggest release of all time.
That's
And that
cool.
happened to be like the biggest release from his very band, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Wow. Okay, so same thing here.
Jordan could switch it up on me and fake me out, but I'm gonna say
I
Continuum by
should
John
just
Mayer.
fake it out. Nah, it's probably Continuum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't beat it.
That's wild, man. You know how cool, how beneficial that actually is to think about. Like, I'm thinking just kind of on the outside of, y'all dynamic. It's like by knowing, by having a person that you co-write with and knowing so much about them, I feel like it would lend itself so well to like certain, elements that you may add or certain things that you may bring in, it's like, oh man, he's gonna definitely enjoy this because this feels like,
Yeah.
such and such or
For sure.
and that's
That's
cool.
true.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, it's cool too. I mean, we've had times when he's like, "Hey, this is just what I'm feeling.
Hmm.
I don't, I don't know what to say, but this is just like the mood I'm in. This is what's
Yeah.
going on in my life."
Wow.
And then there was one time where something very specific like that happened when he was in college. He was in Manhattan, and he was kind of going through something, and he was playing a melody, and he's like, I just feel this melody. It just makes me feel how I feel. And
Mm.
so he drove home, and I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna put words to what that feeling is, and it worked really well just because we know each other,
Yeah.
and so we can, I
Goodness.
don't know, we can just kind of do that.
Dang, that's cool, man. Wow. Sheesh. Okay, so what genre would you like to explore more? And let's go and start with Joel.
Explore more, like
Yeah.
that we haven't.
Like a genre that you just haven't,
As far as playing or listening,
playing.
playing.
Yeah. Like create.
Probably a lot of different things. I think I'd love to take our stuff in a more punk direction, maybe if I was gonna do something different.
Okay.
Because I grew up on it. I love that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But also a completely different direction. I don't know if our band would be the right place for this, but like I love jazz and like classic stuff. So,
Okay.
like I would be down to bring in more like R&B jazz kind of stuff too.
Okay.
I
Wow.
feel like those two things can go together, man.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Because I'm in the same place. I mean, I grew up playing. We grew up playing gospel,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
in church.
Yeah.
So like playing gospel and jazz and R&B is like our bread and butter because we grew
Yeah.
up doing it.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what we learned on. But what we were listening to was different,
Mm-hmm.
And so
Exactly.
we both kind of have these roots where we're like, well, this is what we grew up with,
Yeah.
but this is also what we grew up with, and so we're trying to find ways to like
Dang.
marry the two.
Hey, I want to
know,
hear it,
You know?
man. Seriously, I want to hear it,
without
dude.
sounding like Mario Kart
Yeah.
fusion.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I mean, that's cool
not
too,
what I'm
but
going
like
for.
yeah,
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
like,
That's
yeah.
good. So, do y'all listen to Jacob Collier at all?
Oh, dude,
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Okay.
almost like too much.
He's brilliant,
insane.
man. The guy just yeah.
Yeah. It's
good.
definitely it's not one that you just kind of.
It's not
I mean-
show music.
Yeah, it's one. I'd say it's definitely a man. It's a personal thing.
It's
Like
musicians'
it's
music.
yeah, for
Yeah,
sure, for sure. Have you ever heard of Snarky Puppy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
Absolutely.
so I went to see him play. Have y'all seen him live?
No, I've seen
Just
videos,
videos, yeah.
but I haven't.
Yeah,
haven't
so
seen
they
it.
were at the Kaufman Center.
That was recent, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I didn't even know.
Like
they were
I mean, it
touring.
was wild because obviously you see the videos and it's amazing. But man, there's nothing like live music, just
Okay.
in general. It for me, it doesn't matter who's playing. But they had did it was ridiculous. Like it was a standing ovation of like 5 minutes. Like
Yeah.
just crazy. But yeah. So, what's your favorite song that y'all have done so far? And actually, let's have y'all answer each other's question there again. So, Jordan, what's Joel's favorite song that y'all have done?
So does it have to be released yet?
No,
Okay.
no. Which it I will say this because people are gonna be like, darn it, I want to hear the song
That's
now,
true.
you know.
Yeah.
And so,
Maybe we have to stick with already out.
Yeah.
Okay. that put some parameters on it because I was gonna be like, man, like we've got a lot. But okay, so for Joel, I would say probably "It's Not Me, It's You" is the name of our first single that we put out.
Oh wow,
Um,
seriously. I
yeah,
use that as a joke with people all the time.
yeah,
I
yeah,
always say that it's not me, it's you.
yeah.
Yeah, I literally say that all the
Yeah,
time.
that's the
That's the
that's the
idea.
that's our
That's
first single name,
cool, man.
and
Yeah.
that was like his baby. Like he wrote that and he sent it to
Hmm.
me, and I was like, "That's amazing."
Now is that available on?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
That's the
Okay.
first one that ever came
Okay.
out. So
Yeah,
it's
that's
on
on
Apple
Spotify.
Music. It's on
Okay.
Spotify. It's
Okay.
on it's on everything. It's on Tidal. It's on
Okay.
Amazon.
It's
on,
not me, it's you.
It's not
It's
me.
not
It's
me,
And
it's
you.
y'all going by the same name, right? Mills.
Mills.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
Mills.
caps,
Okay.
by the way.
All
All
caps.
Mills.
Okay.
Mills.
And now, what about Jordan?
That's a tough question.
Hmm.
I think he rocks out pretty hard on our second one, "Waiting on You,"
Okay.
but I think I might go with the last song that we've done. I think I've got a problem because it was totally. I mean, it was his baby the same way. So, and
Okay.
honestly, that's kind of my favorite song too. I'm kind of mad that it's the one that he wrote, but
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's what I'd go with.
Well, what's funny about that one is I was scared to death because that's like a kind of a sad, intimate, starts with piano,
Yeah.
kind of song.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really scared because our songs are kind of exciting, and I was like, well, this is like the one everyone's gonna skip
Yeah.
when it comes on.
Cause it's like kind of
Because it's a little
low.
bit slower,
Yeah.
And I was like, and it was also hard because I knew what I wanted to feel when I listened to it, but I had no idea what
Hmm.
it needed to sound like.
Okay.
And so I second guessed myself the whole way through. And
Yeah.
I was still kind of second guessing myself until I think we got the master back.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I actually enjoy listening to this. And that's always my
Ah.
barometer is if I just enjoy listening, that means I'm
Yeah.
in a good spot. And then we had some friends that were like, oh, man, we love this song. And I was like, oh, maybe it's not that bad.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of people now that keep coming to me and be like, oh, that's my favorite song that you guys
Wow,
put out. And I'm like,
that's
no,
cool.
No
We get a
way.
lot of good feedback.
That's
on that one,
cool.
So-
for sure.
And that's say the name of it again.
I think I've got a problem.
Okay.
That's what it's called.
Now do y'all like how do y'all work out whether or not who's like singing specific parts on the song, like all of that? Like how do y'all go through that
Depends on who
process?
starts writing it most of the time.
Okay.
Unless something just feels a lot more natural to the other person.
Mm-hmm.
I think most of the time we don't even talk about it. It's just like
It's just
Jordan.
kind of known.
Jordan started writing and singing. I think I got a problem, so it just made sense.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes the songs are very personal to one of us
Yeah.
or the other, and so it makes sense for me to tell the story
Yeah.
because it's my
Yeah.
story to tell. You know what
Yeah.
I mean, and
Okay.
vice versa. We have
Yeah.
some where we kind of split them up a little bit. There's one called "Till I Couldn't Have You,"
Mm-hmm.
and I sing the chorus. He sings the verses.
Yeah.
I don't really know why.
Yeah.
It was just fun, so we just
Okay.
did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's
Just makes
y'all
sense.
and y'all can answer this individually. What's y'all favorite part of the song making, song creating process? Like what's your like, man, I can't wait to get to this part,
Man, I know straight away. For me, I love being the guitar player on a record.
Okay.
I just have so much fun with it.
Yeah.
There's one that we're getting ready to put out, and I swear my dad and I, we got together and started working on this guitar part, and we spent 3 hours just dialing in the tone, not even playing,
Wow.
just 3 hours just dialing it in
Yeah.
and trying different things before we were like, this is it, we're gonna go. I just love it.
Yeah.
Playing guitar on a record is my favorite thing.
Wow.
So guitar recording day is like, it's like Christmas, man.
That's
It's my
cool,
favorite.
man.
My favorite.
Goodness. What about you, Joe?
Man, honestly, my favorite thing is just like sitting at a piano and writing just what I feel. Like I feel like I'm like the feely guy. I just want to like just bring out what's in me, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not as into the technical stuff. I mean, there's parts that I enjoy. Like I enjoy like throwing little synth lines and trying to find things that sound cool. But
Yeah.
my favorite part is really just like making the core of the song.
Okay. All right. So, do y'all have, or for you, what's your preference, or not? I don't know if I can ask that because I feel like I know it, but do you always, when laying piano parts, do you always use real piano as far as the tracking, or do you,
Yeah, not 100% of the time.
What do
We
you
did for
use?
all the stuff we have out already.
mm-hmm.
I just got a Nord Stage 3, and I love the sounds in that. And
Oh,
so,
yeah.
at least a couple of our songs, we use that in it just because it sounds so good. And
Okay.
You can kind of do different things. But
Yeah.
we have a pretty nice grand upright that we use a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. To those that don't know, a Nord Stage 3 is a very expensive keyboard that sounds really
It
good.
sounds so
It
good. It's
sounds
red.
really, and it's red, so it looks
Yeah.
cool. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, a lot of the time, what we'll do is we'll record a just keyboard or something, pull up a sound
Hmm.
with a MIDI controller or whatever, and just kind of go.
Yeah.
We'll just try to build out the song as much as we can so we
Yeah.
can be efficient. And then a lot of times we'll spend some time replacing the sounds
Hmm.
that need to be replaced. And so like I think we got a problem was it's a piano song, right? And so
Mm.
I think we just started with, as easy of a, fake piano that we could find and
Yeah.
just start moving with, and then eventually we spent a lot of time miking up and prepping a real piano and then capturing that
Yeah.
because we really wanted to. It was really important when the main like structure or what the foundation. That's what I'm
Yeah.
looking for. When the foundation is one instrument,
Mhm.
I think that it's really important that you get something as faithful and
Yeah,
as
man.
possible to what your vision is.
Yeah.
In that case, it was a real piano. So
Yeah.
we do a lot of sound replacing.
Yeah.
We'll record something and then we'll re-record that part.
If it's a piano-heavy song, we're more likely to use a real piano for sure.
Okay.
Ironically, we have one that's coming out that's not a real piano,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
we meant to do it and we forgot
Sometimes
Okay.
I
because it
forget,
sounded
though.
really good.
Is it
and we-
Nord though?
It's probably North. So
It,
Okay.
it is.
Good.
Yeah.
If we didn't
Yeah,
like the
so I can
sound, we
tell you.
wouldn't have done it.
I can
Yeah.
tell you what every sound is.
Wow, that's cool, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, so, um, how much does everyday life influence like your songwriting process? Like, basically, how much does y'all personal lives, not even necessarily personal lives, but something that y'all have experienced or have seen, like, so let's just say, um, I was watching a movie or I was driving down I-35 and I looked over and, next thing you know, the sun was peeking through here and I felt like it sounded like November,
Yeah.
just like how much does that actually, influence y'all?
Oh, I mean, it influenced a ton. Like, we write when we're inspired, and so
Yeah.
whatever inspires us is going to influence our songs.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't even remember what exactly inspired everything that we've written, but
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know how to answer that other than
Yeah.
to say that does a ton.
I
Yeah.
think I can give some insight. Like, so I think I got a problem. That was a song. It's kind of like a fake scenario, right? It's
Mm.
about essentially it's about like this is like you're like not good for me, but I just can't help myself. Like I gotta like I'm gonna come back to you even though I shouldn't. And what's funny about that is it's not about anything
Yeah.
because I wrote
Yeah.
that song because
Those are
I
the
was in
best
college
songs.
and I came home and it was my birthday.
Yeah.
And it was really cold out
Wow.
and nobody was home.
Wow.
None of my friends were around, and I was just feeling like super. I was just a ton of self pity. I was just like, no one's around. It's my birthday. And so I
Yeah.
went downstairs and decided to write a sad piano
Wow.
song.
That's
And
cool,
it's
man.
not even really about anything that actually happened, but I was just like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm feeling bad for myself. Let's
Sometimes
go
it
write
just
a
comes
sad
out of a
song.
feeling, though.
Yeah,
Like, it's
I
not
feel
even
you.
like
Exactly,
exactly
yeah.
that this happened, but I'm
Mm.
just feeling this way, so I'm just going to go with this.
Yeah, and,
Yeah.
and the thing that happens too is like, I mean, I've got songs that I wrote about like relationships that didn't work out years
Yeah.
ago, and then I'll pick that idea back up like a few years later because I forgot about it or whatever, and I'm
Mhm.
like, well, I don't have any feelings for that person now, so now this is going to turn into something completely different.
Mhm.
So I
Yeah.
think the stage of life that we're in like will affect it because it'll start out as one thing. If I pick that same idea up a couple years later, it's going to just turn into something completely different.
Yeah.
I mean, it might still
Cool.
have some of the same themes and whatnot, but
Yeah.
but it definitely
Wow.
influences like what we write and the mood and like the theme and
Yeah.
everything.
Does
Absolutely.
sound do that for y'all as well? So, like, for instance, hearing a certain sound, just anywhere, like you out and about, and there's a certain sound that feels like it. This is what, this is what type of song it would be. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
almost like, um, so like for me at times, like if I'll hear, well, it's, yeah, like, so let's just say if you picking around on sounds on the, MIDI stuff or whatever sample packs or whatever you're going through, it kind of seem to form what the song is about,
Absolutely.
so to speak. You know what I mean?
Absolutely,
Like
yeah.
there's a certain, you know, electric piano sound that you hear and it's like, man, that sounds like, you know,
Just want to write something
this
about it.
relationship, was I met you down on
Yeah.
Broadway, and
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely, man. And so I mentioned that like songs will tell you what they want sometimes. I think
mm,
sounds will tell you what songs they want to be in too.
yeah,
It's the
man,
same kind of thing, you
yeah,
know. Like if I have a, I can come up with. Well, actually, yeah, synths are probably the best example. Like a synth lead, for instance, you're gonna come up with something that's real mellow.
yeah,
It's gonna tell you, oh, that would be really cool for this like mellow kind of lo-fi kind of beat.
mm-hmm,
Um, I might come up with some sort of screaming lead
yeah,
on a guitar, and I'm like, well, that's clearly not mellow. You know,
yeah,
that's gonna we're gonna rock out to that.
yeah,
And then being out and about too. I mean, sometimes you just it's more like you hear stuff on the radio or you hear things people say,
yeah,
and they either turn into moods or lyrics or whatever. And then what's funny too is like when I mix things, um, I don't. I do go after sound, and I do go after making sure everything sounds clean and sounds good
mm-hmm,
and is technically correct. But really, what I'm going after is like how something makes me feel.
yeah, man,
You know what I mean? So
yeah,
like I think it was
yeah,
Howard Benson, who's a really famous producer. He produced a ton of famous records, but
yeah,
I was listening to something that he was on, and he said something about how like you can love it or you can hate it, and those are both valid feelings. But if you feel nothing, that's when you're
yeah.
in trouble. You know what I mean?
Man, that's good.
So
That's
that's like
real.
that's where I'm
That's
always at.
real.
Is I'm like I
Yeah,
want someone to react to this. I want
yeah,
this to
Yeah.
pull something out of somebody, even if
yeah,
it's not good.
yeah.
Like.
That's real.
But if I don't get any
Dang.
reaction, that's the worst possible
Yeah.
thing.
It's like they just sitting there. It's like, well,
Exactly.
yeah, what are we gonna be doing today? It's like,
Exactly.
hey, the song is
When you're
on.
showing somebody a song and
Yeah,
then they
yeah.
start talking over it,
Yeah.
you're like,
On their
okay,
phone or
okay,
something.
next.
Oh, that
Yeah,
sucks, man. Or they
Throw
start
something out.
checking their phone.
exactly.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
You
like,
know,
well, this is not
it's
going
like, oh
well.
no, maybe it's just them. There you go. It's not me. It's
It's not me, it's
you.
you,
Not
man.
me,
Yeah,
it's
You
you.
exactly.
know.
Hopefully.
wow.
100%.
So, do y'all have any? So for you, do you feel like you're more of a writer than a producer, or
I
what do you?
probably am more.
Yeah.
I like producing a little bit.
Okay. So who's your favorite songwriter?
Oh man, favorite
Mm-hmm.
songwriter. Again, I could probably pick a million people.
Yeah.
Right now, I think, like I mentioned him earlier, Alec Benjamin is just annoyingly amazing at
Yeah.
lyrics and ideas, and so he's probably my favorite right now.
Okay. What
Man,
about you? Now, are you
songwriter.
more on the production side of
So
it?
I'm both.
He's a
You
Producer.
writer
know,
too, for sure.
Yeah.
yeah. I think we kind of split down the middle when it comes to the songwriting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the production stuff I more got into because I just kind of was like, well, this is necessary.
Yeah.
Like I have some help,
Mm-hmm.
but I need to know what I'm doing and I need to figure this out. And in order for it to be good, I need to get good at it. I need to learn
Mm-hmm.
how to do it. So for me, it was the necessity of it that caused me to get into it.
Man, I
Does that make
love that
sense?
word. So, like, most of what I do happens to be out of necessity.
Hmm.
And so, like, the very thing that I do for a living it was created initially out of necessity. And then even like the musician part of it. So I came in from the back end. I actually came in from like the production part of it. And in order to actually, be able to do more, it, influenced the musician side. And so
Hmm.
I play at my church, all the
Yeah.
time. And but was never involved in playing live, anything like that. And so, but the production side informed that. And but it's cool because there's so many like different parts of music and getting involved in music that happens out of that. So it's like,
Hmm.
if I'm going to be able to do this, write songs on my own, or if I'm going to be able to create songs on my own, then there's certain things that you end up learning, due to that. It's like,
Yeah.
well, because I can't always expect, such and such to be here, or can't
Hmm.
always have, this person to be here
Oh,
to
it
help
makes
me.
it makes perfect sense. I mean, I
Yeah.
want to be a guitar player, right?
Yeah.
So it's necessary that I learn how to play guitar,
Yeah.
right? I want to have my own songs, um, and I want to have like, I mean, between the two of us, anyways, have total creative control.
Yeah.
So it's necessary that I
Yeah.
become a producer so that I
Yeah.
can produce it myself.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
man.
don't know how to play drums, but it's necessary that I learn just enough to
Yeah.
be able to communicate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah,
real.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, man.
What you want to
Goodness.
do will kind of inform
Mm.
What's
the rest of it.
necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's something that y'all could say to influence or to help encourage a younger person that happens to be a musician
Mhm.
at this point, but they don't have any of those other skills yet, like as far as the production stuff.
Oh, I know.
But they sing and they may play a little bit, but like what's something that you can say to kind of encourage them?
Totally. I think the biggest thing, and this goes for like almost anything in life, but you have to be willing to be bad at it first.
Mm.
Like, be willing to write a bad song. Be willing to like produce something that doesn't sound good. Because you're
Yeah.
not going to produce something that sounds good until you get past the bad stuff and
Wow.
learn what you don't like, what you do like, what you want to do different. Like, that's how I learn. Is I have to kind of fail first. You know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think going right off of that, man, find someone who's better than you.
Mm.
Yeah.
And
For
if
sure.
you are the best person in the room, you are in the wrong room.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You
Yep.
know, go find somebody who does what you want to do and watch them. Just sit in the room and listen. Like,
Yeah.
don't even say anything. Just listen and observe as much as you can.
Yeah.
And just try to learn.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to ask
Dude.
questions.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
I
Good.
wouldn't know
Yeah.
anything if I didn't ask questions.
Yeah.
You know,
Sure.
there are so many guitar players that taught me how to play different chords, not because I had lessons, but because I was like, I remember we were in that studio that my dad had off on Broadway,
Hmm.
and there was a guitar player there, and I was learning how to play my bar chords. And if you're not a guitar player, they're chords that are really hard to play.
Yeah,
when
they
you're
sucks.
learning, everyone hates learning
They
bar
suck.
chords.
Especially when they're
Yeah, and I was struggling so much. And then
Yeah.
the guy that was playing guitar on the record came out of the control room and saw me sitting there struggling. He's like, "Hey, man, like, sounded good. Like, let me show you like what I do and what helped me." And then immediately I got it. You know,
Yeah,
and just like
man. Yeah.
spend time
Yeah.
with people. And that's how we learned how to play like professionally and how to communicate
Mhm.
professionally.
Mm.
Is we started. What happened was we started playing at our church.
Yeah. So you
And we
number
had,
guys?
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
no,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I had to learn numbers. I
Yeah.
had to learn how to
Oh
Yeah.
yes,
communicate.
absolutely.
How to communicate like what chords and what numbers and scales and everything. I didn't know anything. I
Yeah.
didn't even know how to tell you what key it was in. I
Yeah.
just knew some chords. I had a capo and
Yeah.
I could sing okay, you know.
Yeah.
We learned.
And then like we just spent time learning under people
Mm.
that had our best interest in heart, which
Yeah.
is a huge part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also they were just brilliant musicians.
Yeah.
And we were like, well, there's a bar now that we have to rise to.
Yeah.
And so we just worked at rising to that
Yeah.
bar. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever play with the any of the Estelles?
yeah.
Oh, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, so speaking of It's Not Me, It's You, Lester
Oh.
Estelle,
He
he
played
played
drums on
he
that,
played
yeah.
drums on that song.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Dang. Okay. I'm gonna have to go check it out.
Now you have
Yeah,
to listen
man.
to it.
Dang, that's cool, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you had a like I guess a bucket list place to write a song or make a song, create a song, not studio, but location. I'm saying, whether that's in, the Horn of Africa or if that's in, on the very tip of, China or something like.
Sure.
Do you have a dream place that you just like, man, it would be amazing to like go and
That's a
be able to
good
just
question.
create for, a couple of weeks in this one place?
I feel
Great
like,
question.
I mean, any place that's unique to where I'm normally at is going to be inspiring.
Mm.
If I had to pick somewhere, probably somewhere like tropical, basically on the water with like super clear water. I just feel like that would be like just give me in the vibes. Or
Yeah.
like randomly, I feel like South Africa would be really cool. Like it's,
Mm.
it's super unique and beautiful and tropical, and like
Yeah.
that's just kind of what came to mind first.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is gonna sound weird
Yeah.
because I'm a history guy. I'm
Yeah.
a huge history geek.
Uh-huh.
So for me, it's like any place with any sort of historical significance,
Mm.
and it's not necessarily like some of the really really big events that you would think about. But like, I remember we were in London several years ago, and I was standing like right on the grave of Henry VIII, who's one of the kings of England, who's infamous for being
Wow.
kind of a nut job. But I was like, wow, like he's here, he's right
Wow.
here.
For real.
Wow.
And I was so inspired, like
Yeah.
leaving that, and I in all sorts of ways I was inspired. Not because he was a great guy,
Yeah.
but because
just-
like there was
yeah.
something historically
Yep.
significant,
There
and
was-
it happened right where I was
Yeah.
standing. So
Wow.
it's hard to pick an exact location.
Mhm.
Just basically whatever historical event I'm nerding about
Yeah.
at that particular time.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
So
Okay.
That's a good answer.
right now would be Sweden. I'm thinking about the Winter War. between the Russians and the Swedes in 1940, which not a lot of people
I don't
about.
know a lot about that. I'll be
Yeah.
honest.
Anyways,
Yeah, that's cool,
not a lot of
dude.
people do.
I like
Well,
history, but
that's
what I've
cool.
been like looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, man. So let's go ahead and introduce this video here. And actually, let y'all introduce it. So if you can, who want to introduce it?
I can take it.
Okay, I'm gonna have you look directly at that camera and introduce it. Say the name, who it is, and
Yeah,
things
yeah.
like that. All right, here we go. Go for it.
So this is a music video we did pretty recently with another guy who was just on the podcast. His name's Trey Mutaba. I literally am blanking on the name. What's it called?
It's
Second
called
guessing.
Oh yeah, second guessing. So it's a song that Trey wrote, and then he sent it over to us. We kind of wrote a second verse, and then kind of put the whole thing together with him, and then we made a super cool video. And yeah, that's what it is.
It's dope.
It's cool. The whole thing's one shot.
So here we go again. No, I can't pretend that I'm not thinking about you all the time. No, I can't seem to get you off my mind. It's crazy just how far we've come, defying all the odds while being young. It's amazing just how far we've come. Oh baby, I could never get enough of you. I never thought I'd learn to fall in love, and I never thought that you would be the one. So I'm never second guessing, 'cause every second is a blessing. Oh, I'm never second guessing this time, 'cause I made up my mind. Baby, take my hand. Give me one more dance. They're playing a song, it's a moment. Let's live in the now, don't lose focus. I know you wanna dance, so let me hold you close and realize I don't deserve to have you in my life. I wanna reminisce and hold you tight, thanking God that I'm still on your mind this time. Never thought I'd learn to fall in love, and I never thought that you would be the one. So I'm never second guessing, 'cause every second is a blessing. Oh, I'm never second guessing this time. I've made up my mind. You're mine.
Just gotta.
Got the masters and everything.
Wow. So that was awesome. Very, very excited to share that. And actually, this brings me to something that I forgot to mention earlier on. Starting tomorrow, on Thursdays at 1 p.m., I'm actually be doing like a short little 30-minute live to where I'll be playing music videos from local artists like that to be able to just highlight and showcase what's going on locally, musically speaking. And so you guys tune in on that. All right, so this is the trivia part, man. This is the moment. All right.
Let's go.
So we're gonna see what you guys know here and see what happened here, and yeah. So, well, let me see. So we'll just take turns on these. We'll start with Joel. What was Elvis's first hit in 1956?
Oh, dude, I have no idea.
Just take a guess.
I'm just gonna say something. I'm probably gonna make someone mad. I'm
Yeah.
gonna say Hound Dog.
Dude, I would have said the same thing.
I know it's not the first
legit
song you
don't
did.
know.
I know it's not,
Okay.
but that's what I'm saying.
No, it was a Heartbreak Hotel.
Was it really?
Yeah.
I would have sworn that
I don't
was
know
later.
the timeline.
Yeah,
I would have
yeah,
sworn that was
Yeah.
later.
yeah. Okay, Jordan. So, what was or where is Kanye West from?
Where's he from? Is he
Yeah.
from L.A.? Or did
No.
he just go to L.A.? I feel
Yeah,
like
you
everyone's
just go to
from LA.
you just go to L.A.
I don't know. Where
Oh,
he's
I'm
from,
glad you
dude.
don't know this one.
We're doing something else.
It's Chicago, man.
You know, I almost guessed Chicago, but I
Yeah.
was like,
I
don't
should have
know.
said Midwest. What part of the Midwest?
Oh,
That's
I
what I
would've
should
been
have
like-
said.
Wichita for sure.
Yeah. All right. So, what decade? Do y'all know the song "Love Shack"?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love Shack. What decade, Joe, was that actually released?
It sounds really 60s-ish. I'm gonna say the 60s.
No.
Oh, dang.
70s, right?
Or was it earlier?
80s.
Oh,
That was
Yeah,
an 80s
80s. You know what's messed up? I actually forgot to
My mom's
write the
gonna be so
answer down
disappointed.
because I felt too confident that I knew it. Like,
That's
yeah, I know
awesome.
that that's when it was.
That's hilarious.
I think it was the 90s or the 80s. But I'm sure it was 80s or 90s, but I'm pretty sure it was 80s.
I definitely thought it was earlier than that.
Okay, so which Beatle?
We got this.
Here we go.
Yeah, got
Here we
this
go.
one?
Probably.
Y'all think y'all
You're
got
talking-
this
You're
one?
talking big, man.
Okay.
We'll see.
Which Beatle had dyslexia?
Had dyslexia. Oh.
Yeah.
I had Big Top thing.
You did. You were so
Yeah, which one
confident,
had
bro.
dyslexia?
Can we discuss amongst ourselves?
Mm-hmm.
Phone
Go ahead.
friend.
My first thought is Ringo, but I don't know for sure.
I think everyone always guesses Ringo, but no one actually knows that.
That's because, yeah, I don't know.
They
Hmm.
just want to throw him under the bus.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you choose.
You want me
Yeah.
to choose?
Yeah.
What does that even mean? Was it? I know John had a rough childhood. Was it John?
It was John Lennon.
Ah,
Yeah, it was John Lennon.
I apologize,
Had
Ringo.
Oh man, that's cool. I love the no preparation. Okay, so which pop star played 27 instruments on their debut album? And Joe, you want to make up for it and try this one?
I can try. I don't know if I will make up for it.
All right, let's see.
Uh,
It's crazy too, cause here I'll say this: this pop star was popularized in the 80s. Very, very popular in the 80s. And this pop star also happens to, and this may throw you off, happens to be arguably one of the greatest guitarists. It's difficult. Uh-huh.
That's
He's not a guitar
you're gonna
player.
say it, and I'm
27
gonna-
instruments,
I'm
yeah.
gonna wonder why.
I
you
need a
would say
hint.
it.
I need one more hint.
Okay. All right. This pop star, I don't want to give one too heavy. This pop star was from Detroit.
I don't know anyone from Detroit.
Yes. I love it,
I
dude.
I'm
have
thinking
no
it's
idea.
guitar, so
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I'm thinking like, oh, guitar man.
I'm like my first thought is like Eric Clapton or something. But
No.
Well, but he's not a. I would never have called
Yeah.
him a pop star.
Yeah, this guy was definitely a pop star. Now, like I said, definitely. You wouldn't. The reason why I said one of the best guitars, arguably, is because people don't really,
Think of him as a guitar
yeah,
player.
they
Oh, well,
don't
now I'm
like,
thinking of like, oh, who's
yeah,
the
they
guitar
don't really
players?
put them in there as like, like that ain't the first thing you think of when you think of this person.
Hmm.
You think of this person more so as a pop star, you know. But he was in the '80s and he was very, very
Is he still around?
popular. He's not.
Oh, Prince.
Oh, there
Oh,
you go.
Let's go.
There you
I
go.
redeemed myself a little
No,
bit.
there's no argument there. Yeah, he
Yeah.
is one of the greats.
Yeah, that's
I was
cool. He
thinking
got
who's
it.
around today.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
Hope
so
my
yeah,
first got to
man.
it someone
Yeah,
today.
27 instruments on his debut
yeah,
album,
that
man.
makes sense.
Now,
Yeah,
if I'm not
that's
mistaken, he's
monster.
17 then, dude.
That's crazy.
Oh,
So
that's
yeah,
annoying.
this one here, I actually love this. So I'm gonna actually ask this one, but I'm gonna ask a bonus one connected to this one. You had mentioned a Hound Dog. Do you know who actually wrote Hound Dog?
I just saw the Elvis movie. I can't
I did
remember
not
her
see the
name.
Elvis movie. So he actually like studied up for this. And he's
I'm
still
not on
doing
her
it.
Well, no, some of these. So like, I actually,
I won't remember her name, but I can picture her.
yeah, Rosetta Tharpe.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
wouldn't have gotten
yeah,
her. I know the name.
yeah. Okay, so this is falling off right off of that one. Do y'all know the song "I Will Always Love You"?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
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 Oh yeah, that
who
was originally
sing?
Whitney Houston.
Yep. So who wrote that song?
Oh, who was it? It was someone who like you wouldn't think about because I just
Yeah.
heard about this.
You would never think this.
Do you have any idea?
I don't.
Cause she like,
And it was a
recorded
she.
Somebody.
It was a she that wrote
Oh, I'm pretty sure I know. Is it Dolly Parton?
it. Boom.
Yeah.
There you go.
Was it
Dolly Parton. So
No way.
the legend goes that she actually wrote that and Jolene the same day, allegedly,
Mm.
that they were written the same
What a
day.
day.
You know what? Like, you know how crazy
Two
that
songs
is
I wish
if
I'd
that
written.
actually happened, man.
That's nuts, man.
Wow.
It's an
Yeah.
expensive day.
I'm telling you, you ain't literally paid for the
She's
rest of
probably still
your
living off of that. Like,
yeah, like in one day. That's wild. Okay, so this is the final question on that. All right. How many mixes did Michael Jackson's song Thriller have? I'm gonna pass this one to you. How many mixes?
I, I want to say 3, but I feel
Okay.
like it's more than
I know he threw it all out when it was like all ready. and
I do know
redid it,
that,
but-
but I don't know. I don't know the number. I want to say. I mean, if you're mixing Michael Jackson,
hmm
you're not.
And
just,
let me rephrase it because I'm talking about the specific song too.
right. Okay.
So because
I
you
feel
know
like
the album was titled.
if you're mixing the title track to a Michael
Yeah.
Jackson record, you're taking your time and
Mm.
doing it well. So I feel like one mix would be a pretty big deal. So
Mhm.
I want to say 3.
92.
9. Okay. Well,
Nice.
Isn't that
I
wild?
was close, right?
92 mixes. So Bruce Sweetian
That's a lot.
mixed it, and 92 mixes. And the wild thing about that, dude. So they said that a couple of things behind that. People that were actually there. It said Quincy Jones has said that they did 92 different. No, it was Bruce had mentioned this because he's a mix engineer. He said that they did 92 mixes, and Quincy Jones wasn't in there the whole time. Like he'd come and go, and but said that they had got to did the 92nd one, and they played it for Quincy Jones, Michael Jackson, and Bruce played it for Quincy Jones. And he said Quincy Jones was like, man, I like that. It's like let's go with the second one.
Yeah.
That's
And
awesome.
so they ended up going with the second mix. That's the one that we
After
actually
92
hear.
of them? That's wonderful.
That's almost criminal.
Yeah,
I wanna
it's
hear
like
that
that.
92nd
Yeah, I
mix.
want to. Well, I want to hear. Well, nah, I don't think I want to hear. I do. I want to hear the other ones too. It'll probably be over like
I don't,
92.
After 92 of them,
days.
I'll kind of forget what the difference was.
Yeah. Let's see. So, and then also, which, alleged Quincy Jones actually said this. He did actually say this. Said they were in there so long, they were actually running, or they were carrying people out on stretchers from like dehydration and all that from like just the. And so I'm just like, yeah, you
That's too
know.
much. Man.
Yeah, it-
Jackson worked hard. Yeah.
you know, it's funny. That was my response too. Like, man, that's just too serious.
Dude,
But
imagine doing something
but
like that. And then,
Thriller, you know.
imagine like you do something like that, and then like you put the song out, and everyone's like, "It's not even that
Yeah.
good."
That's the thing. So like you couldn't imagine doing that. You wouldn't. I guess you. The safe thing to do is not tell anybody the backstories until, it actually like
So it's
makes it
gotta lie.
a big
Don't put
record.
too much pressure on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we did.
If you
know,
overhype anything,
We
man.
spent $100 million on this
Yeah.
song, and
Yeah.
and then it's like, yeah, it sucks. Yeah, that's funny, dude. So, man, that's essentially it. We made it through it, bro.
Man,
So
Love it.
let me ask you guys this: do you have a projected date of when y'all will be dropping this next project?
Just keep your eyes peeled for the end of the month.
Okay.
yeah, that's the goal.
Okay. All right. So with that being said, um, what's the chances of y'all coming back once y'all release that? That way we could sit down, talk about the project. Because I would love to do like I'd like to have conversations about playing some of the songs, and then like just kind of talking a bit about behind the scenes of it, the liner notes, so to speak,
Yeah.
of getting
I'd
to
love
know,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Heck yeah,
Okay.
man.
We're down.
Just
Okay.
say the word.
We'll
We're
just have
here.
to
Alright.
figure out a date.
Okay.
We'll do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool, man. Well, that's exactly what we'll do. Is there anything else you guys would like to share prior to then, or?
Man, I think the only other thing would just be to go check us out on Spotify.
Hmm.
Again, it's Mills. If you look up "It's Not Me, It's You" Mills, you'll find us. It's kind of annoying, but there's some other Mills on there, so it's hard to find us.
Other people have that last name.
Yeah,
you
we're
can
not the only
believe
ones
that.
in the world.
Yeah.
So,
But Mills,
yeah.
"It's Not Me, It's You" on Spotify. You'll find us.
There's a picture of the two of us. You will see distinctly
Yes,
both of us.
our faces.
Yeah.
You will
Do
That's the
people ever
grand
ask y'all if
reckless.
y'all are twins?
all the time.
Every day.
Yeah.
All the time.
Every day since we were like 3 and 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have 3 daughters, but 2 of them are close in age. What are y'all? Are y'all
2 years apart.
exact?
A little
Like
over 2 years.
3
Okay.
months.
So yeah, my daughters are 16 months apart, and so they get asked that all the time.
Oh, man.
16 and 14. And
Yeah.
so look at me thinking about it. That's terrible. But cool, man. I appreciate you guys coming out, joining me, having a conversation.
Thanks for
Uh,
having
Be
us.
here, man.
Dude, we had some. I'm loving the trivia thing. So I'd say next
We
time
need to study up for next time.
we're definitely gonna do another trivia.
Yeah.
And so let's make sure y'all
Let's do it.
going to
Let's
spend
do
a jump into the documentaries from
We
now
are
until
ready.
the end, and
Expect
you
the
know,
unexpected.
there you
You know,
go,
I had
because
no
you don't
idea.
know what's gonna happen, man. You would have thought that what'd you say, Hound Dog was the was
We
his
thought it was
first
the
hit.
first one, yeah.
Yeah,
It's not
which
the
you
first one.
I mean you would think that though,
I
sounded
knew it
early,
wasn't the
though.
first one, but I didn't
Yeah.
know what the
I
first
didn't
one
know.
was, so.
just to know the throw.
So he should have known better. I had no idea.
Yeah,
It was
so-
a
I'm
long
off the
movie.
hook.
I don't remember
yeah,
everything.
yeah. Which that was a great movie.
It was a
man.
good movie. Yeah.
Wow. Sheesh. Okay, well, cool, guys. We had the brother Mill, or I don't know why I want to say, how can I say that? Mills. We had Mills. We had a
Brothers,
conversation
Brother
with Mills, who happens to be brothers. That's good.
There you go.
And just like always, guys, these conversations are meant to be able to have a platform to be able to communicate to people that aren't necessarily musicians, which y'all did an amazing job on, like, kind of holding back the techie, heady stuff of stuff that we may only understand. Y'all did a great job. But the goal is to be able to have more of these, to be able to help shine more light on musicians as a whole, but more so importantly, not more importantly, but more so locally speaking, to be able to actually get to a place to where people can get a chance to be able to go see live music locally, because they're here. Like, these dudes are amazing at what they do, alongside other musicians that are amazing at what they do locally speaking. And the cool thing is that one day, at one point, we'll have an opportunity to where we can, it won't be abnormal to be able to, at any given day, be able to go down to such and such and see, this person play, drive right down the street and see another person play, go right down here and see another person play. That's what Nashville's doing. That's what other, major cities are doing. We could be doing the same thing. So that's the goal here. As always, remember that God loves you guys. I love you guys. And y'all have a good night. We're going to run the intro as an outro. because I just like to do that. All right, you guys have a good night. Okay, so if you like music, I believe you'll like this. Today is sponsored by We Are Live. Come on.